throw together my grandma's Kolache crescent roll and what I also use as a runza dough recipe. I'll also attach it at the end. I have like a printed off sheet that I'll either take a picture of or I'll type it up. So I'm gonna do a double batch, but for a single batch, we start with 1.5 cups of milk and you scald that and add 1 stick of butter to it. My grandma always used oleo because my grandpa hates butter, but what he doesn't know won't hurt him. And then while I'm waiting for that milk to calm down, I did 1/2 cup, well in this case I doubled it, but 1/2 cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, and then 2 packages of instant dry yeast, which is 1.5 tablespoons. I just doubled it for this, so you can see my yeast is already active and happy. We just beat the milk and butter until it becomes lukewarm. I don't think my milk is quite hot enough, but it'll work. So we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt and 1/2 cup of sugar. The standard recipe calls for about 7 cups of flour, but I just go by how it looks. So just add a portion of the flour here. So I've just been eyeballing it and dumping in flour as I see fit. We're gonna add 2 medium eggs, or 3 if they're small eggs. And our yeast mixture is very ready to go here. Put that back on the mixer, and again, I'll just kind of gauge how much more flour I need to add. And I'm actually gonna sub in some bread flour, which I've never done before, but it's right here and handy, and maybe it'll just make them a little bit extra fluffy. I can already smell it. I did mix up my meat for the runzas last night, so that way it'd be like nice and cold. It helps when the fat congeals so that it's not too warm and opens up your dough when you're trying to seal it. I really don't know how much flour I ended up adding, so I'm just gonna kind of test by feel if I have enough in here, and if not, I'll just add it while I knead it by hand. I won't need to add any more flour, so again, I just go by feel. It's about 7 cups per batch, but we doubled it today just because when I'm making runzas, they're larger, so you don't get as many out of it. That looks pretty good to me for now. We want to put our dough into an oiled bowl. I just use olive oil. And we're gonna let this proof for about an hour, and I'll bring you back when we poke it all down, and we'll let it reproof, and then we'll shape them. It's been more like an hour since we threw this runza Kolache crescent roll dough together. Ooh, it's nice and warm. So I am just gonna poke this down here, and then we will let it reproof probably for another maybe 30 minutes. And then I will bring you back once I get my ingredients ready for the assembly line, and we will start to make our runzas. Okay, so this is how our dough is looking. A couple of these because I've got way too much dough to actually record the whole process. I go more on feel, and as I start making them, I kind of get an idea of how big I need them to be. I've made these for probably a year now. My daughter has been begging to have runzas, so I just kind of put it out here so that we can fill it up. And then the mixture I made last night, which is just ground meat as well as onions and then boiled cabbage. I like to make it ahead of time because the fat kind of congeals around it, and it's much easier than trying to shape the dough with warm meat in it. And I do like to put cheese in these as well. And we just kind of wrap it up. This dough actually feels really, really nice. And I just try to close up any of the seams. That is how we're looking, and this is just going to be kind of like a little hot pocket runza sandwich. I know runza is like a Nebraska thing, and I just converted this dough recipe that was meant to be for kolaches and crescent rolls into runza dough as well. I do go ahead and grease these with olive oil, and then we do an egg wash before we put them in the oven. I bake these at 375 for about 15 minutes. I'll bring you back just to show you like the final bake on these and what they look like on the inside. So delicious. We're gonna be eating these for dinner, so I'll bring you back once I'm done with baking these. I ended up baking these at 375 for 20 minutes. Got a little cheese explosion on this one. I also did mix up some meat with a can of cream of mushroom soup and then threw some Swiss cheese in there because I like Swiss mushroom runzas. That's how these are looking. Come on. I have to take some over to my parents' house. My mom has a colonoscopy in the morning, so I'm sure my dad will be happy to have hot, fresh runzas to eat. And then we'll cut into one as well. Got that nice little crunchier outside, and then cut into this. And that's how we're looking inside. Ooey gooey goodness. These are super good with like ketchup, or I like buying with horseradish as well. And that dough is just so beautiful. It's gonna be super hot. She's been begging me to make runzas for like a year. So good. Like I said, I'll attach that recipe card to the end. Let me know if you guys try it and what you think.